Welcome to Rainy Day Rabbit Holes, where we take the history of the West off the rails.
If you like your history unhinged, you are in the right place.
I'm Shea.
And I'm Jody.
Let's fall down the rabbit hole. So, you've just emerged from the shadows. The smell of damp brick in your nose, probably still brushing imaginary cobwebs off your jacket, and you're thinking, did I just walk through history or a movie set? Let's set the mood. It's Portland, late 1800s. The streets are muddy, the rain is relentless, and the men are surprisingly flammable from all the whiskey. Sailors, loggers, drifters, they flood the bars of Old Town looking for a drink, company, and bad decisions. And that's where the story takes a dark turn. Dun, dun, dun.
Arnar.
Nailed it. You guys, I'm trying to set the mood.
Serious stuff. Yeah, nailed it.
Go. That's what we just helped you do.
Yeah, you're welcome.
According to the legend, these men would wander into one of the many saloons, brothels, or gambling halls that dotted the area. They'd toss back a couple shots, chat up the wrong stranger, and suddenly, poof, they're out cold. Next thing they know, they're waking up on a ship halfway to Shanghai with a wicked hangover and a new career as a non-voluntary deckhand.
I'm sorry, a deckhand?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Deckhand?
Is that like where you have... Well, no, that's lesbian.
Fingers?
I've got 10 dicks.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, that's from Sex and the City. It's called Shanghaiing, guys. And according to popular lore, Portland wasn't just dabbling in it. They were thriving on it. This city had a reputation as one of the most dangerous ports on the West Coast, where a night on the town could turn into a one-way ticket to indentured seafaring servitude.
Oh, man.
And how, you ask, were these poor souls whisked away so efficiently? Secret underground tunnels, of course.
Gotta be the tunnels.
Hey, creepy people. Wait, that's your line.
Nicely done, Shay. That's a nice intro.
I thought you said it perfectly.
Yeah.
Are you guys confused yet? Because who's talking? Who?
Huh?
Okay, huh? Welcome to a very special episode from your two favorite... Wait, I just held up 4. Your two favorite Pacific... That's how many
It's
people are in
fine.
the room.
It's not on video.
Look behind you
It's
on the
cool.
bed right now.
Oh my God, there's 4.
Literally, we're doing the same.
We'll have to post a picture of that.
Wait a minute, from your 2. There we go. Right number of fingers. Favorite Pacific Northwest history podcasts. That's right. I'm Shea.
And I'm Jody.
And I'm Caitlyn.
Oh, hi, I'm Cassie.
And we are the hosts of, collectively, the Rainy Day Rabbit Holes podcast and...
PNW Haunts and Homicides.
That's right. Where history is unhinged, because I think that you guys could embody that as well, right?
Oh, we're so unhinged.
Definitely, yeah. That part for sure.
That's where we meet up, right in the middle. Yeah.
Well, and we can confirm because we've spent this afternoon together being unhinged.
Absolutely.
deeply.
Absolutely. So you guys are very lucky because we have come together on this here weekend in unidentified month. On a Pod Pals weekend in the beautiful city of Portland, Oregon, or Stumptown, if you're nasty.
Oh.
We nasty.
You know our script.
I may have listened to your podcast.
Oh my God.
And also, we're nasty.
Good. We wouldn't be hanging out with you if you
right?
weren't. Yeah.
Like you said, we spent all day together. We know.
You guys know things about us that none of our listeners know at this point.
I mean, same.
Neener, neener, neener.
Yeah, the blackmail request will be coming in the mail very soon.
Okay.
Well, I mean, wait, which way is that going?
Right.
Both ways. We go both ways.
Oh, hey now.
Spicy.
So we are actually in the home of these two fabulous bitches we are visiting, so whom we are actually meeting for the first time in IRL, which could be awkward and
it
might get
wasn't.
later. Hey, depending on how much we drink.
The night is young.
So what do you think, ladies? Are we as hot as you imagined?
Oh my God, as we sit here in our comfy clothes.
So much hotter, actually.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
1,000 times hotter.
Oh my God, you're so much younger than I thought you sounded.
Blushing.
I mean, I saw you guys and I was like, wait, this is who we gotta hang out with? What?
They're practically fetuses.
Oh my God, how can we like podcast with those two supermodels?
I know. I wore no makeup today. I'm very insecure. I don't.
Oh my God. You are beautiful, both of you.
Very.
Also, just shy. Oh.
It was only a matter of time. I know everybody looks at me because that's where they think it's
I know we
coming
did. We all
from.
looked at you.
Yeah.
I really felt like it came from that
I can
direction.
throw my voice, but no,
You
not
throw
that
your
time.
snorts?
Yeah.
The audience
was
doesn't
you?
know.
Yeah.
It could have been a ghost. It was a ghost. Just a ghost snort. We don't know.
That's
well,
funny.
we could have maybe brought one here from where we've been all day.
I know. So, ladies, I have set the scene.
Yes.
What did we get up to today? Well, I mean, you don't know what we got up to this morning, but what did we as a foursome got up to today? So, yeah, tell us what we got up today and what we're going to talk about on this episode.
Well, what did we do today? We went on a Shanghai Tunnel Tour.
What is that?
A tour of the Shanghai Tunnels.
What's the Shanghai Tunnels?
So the Shanghai Tunnel.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Okay, so first up, guys, let's do a little caveat. The term Shanghaied is actually fairly racist.
Oh no, it totally is. I think I don't understand why we can still call it
We
that.
still
to be
keep
honest.
just yelling it out across Portland.
That's what we do here.
Because it was the whole late 1800s where the Chinese were looked upon as basically animals, and anything that was a problem in this country was definitely those dirty yellow. And I'm only saying, you know, that's not my
Yes.
opinion, but
No.
you know what I mean. So, but Shanghai tunnels is what they are called. They are known as. So we are going to use that word over and over and over and again in this episode. And that is not us trying to
Well, is there a term that should be used instead?
The
kidnapped.
kidnap.
the kidnap tunnels.
tunnels.
It
Kidnap.
doesn't have
Well,
the same ring to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The racist kidnapping.
But like,
That's a mouthful.
who
Yeah.
was doing the Shanghaiing? It wasn't Chinese people, was it?
No, and that's the
Nar.
thing. It's called Shanghaiing because they would be sold into indentured servitude onto ships that traded with Asia.
Oh.
So it wasn't necessarily that it was Chinese captains that were. We'll get into the whole history of this, but it wasn't just necessarily that it was Chinese captains. It could be American captains, but they are trading with Asia. Anyways, we'll get into it. Today, we went on this Shanghai Tunnel Tour experience. It starts at the Old Town Pizza and Brewing in the old Merchant Hotel in the Old Town district of downtown Portland, which unfortunately does not have the glamour it once did.
No, but the smell when you walk in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is a lot different than the smell outside.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, the town. Yeah, when you walk in, I was like, oh, yes, we are eating pizza here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's in a part of Portland that has fallen upon some
Yes.
fairly hard times. But it is directly across the street from CC Slaughter's, which I have danced there and had some great times. Yeah, Old Town Pizza and Brewing is basically the only way to really access the Shanghai tunnels right now. Right? think
I didn't know
that's-
that. That's cool.
I think so. Yeah.
There's kind of a sprawling hidden network beneath Old Town. There's trapdoors hidden under bar stools, or at least that's the legend, right?
Yeah.
That we're led to believe. Holding cells carved into basement walls. Again, the legend that we are told. Narrow brick-lined passageways leading all the way to the docks. Some say you could walk for blocks beneath the city, never touching sunlight, guided only by the echo of your own terrified breathing. Oh, bum, bum, bum. Well, now it's not sounding terrified so much as excited.
My goodness.
I don't know. There was a moment there where Cassie locked herself into the room with the little handcuffs on the wall, and we don't know what she was doing in there.
Yes, she did shut herself
Don't
in
we?
all by herself.
Don't we though? Don't we?
I had to test it out, make sure it was sturdy. you know.
Yeah.
So
It's like, I can't leave her here. But what are you doing in there?
I like
Get
to be
out.
in dark holes by myself.
Hey now, that's also what he said.
But we are jumping ahead again because, oh my, we haven't gotten there to the dark hole.
Yeah.
This is starting to sound sexual.
Yeah.
Why do I keep
Since
looking
we
at you
started.
when I say that,
I don't know.
Caitlin?
Probably
you're like-
it's really hard to look at any.
I can look at her or you and
Don't
just
look
like
like
where.
that.
I've got
I
a
do
great
feel
visual
like I'm
of all
catching a
of
lot
you.
of heat.
Are there sparks?
Whatever. Just switch back and forth between us.
Are you feeling jealous,
A
Cassie?
little bit.
Our new tagline.
You're like, I thought that we had a.
Thought we had a thing, and then
I'm
whatever.
not trying to get in the way of anything. So
Guess it was
We could
meaningless.
just turn these microphones off and see what happens.
Oh my god. Our new tagline a history unhinged. I think it's like just us unhinged. We can talk about anything. It's just unhinged.
We're so stupid.
Because that's what's happening.
I thought that was implied.
Oh my God, your husband's going to listen to this episode.
Yeah.
Your husband's going to listen to this episode. My husband will not listen to this episode.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no.
That's what you guys get for having husbands. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're like, I don't have to worry about that. Literally, your mom listens to your show.
My
or
mom
something.
does. Yeah,
Oh, no.
she is
Sorry, Cassie's
she's like
mom.
our most dedicated listener.
I love it. Sorry, Cassie's mom. We are just joking.
Yes.
She doesn't care.
I know this is
are
one
we?
that probably should be on the actually videoed so everybody can see how much we're just joking because it probably sounds real bad. Nah.
Well, okay. So I'm going to again try to set the scenes of what we were experiencing down there. There are whispers of ghostly figures still wandering those tunnels. Long dead victims of the Shanghai trade, or maybe just the echoes of a really bad bar crawl. Our tour guide, shout out to Doug.
Douglas.
He was
Hey,
so
Doug.
good. Oh my God, Dougie.
He was.
Can
he
we
was
call him Dougie?
Fantastic.
He
didn't. We found out at the end he's a playwright, and I feel like
He just shouted it out there
Yeah, he
because
goes-
I'm a playwright.
I know. I go hands down, Doug.
Which is funny because he had his hands up the whole time.
He's so
He
he did
did.
so good. He's such you can tell he's a storyteller because he must at least practice out his plays that he playwrights because he's very good at how he delivers the message and the story and then the mood.
Oh, he's very good at setting the mood. Yeah.
Setting the mood, and then just the ambiance of the whole place. I loved where we sat in the chairs, and there was candles.
Oh,
and
that was so
he
good.
sat in a chair and just told the story, and it was the best.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to be able
No.
to just like go down into the actual like tunnels.
Yeah.
And then it was dark down there. They had like those candles going. You
I
just get
loved-
to like chill in there.
How
that was
many
so cool.
stops do you think we had where we sat in rooms and he told us a story? I mean,
couple.
it was a really
Like 5 or 6, it felt like.
Yeah. And
Overall.
I'm a tour guide as well. I don't know
yeah.
if you know this.
What?
Have I told anybody that I'm a tour
You
guide?
never told me that.
Have you ever told you guys about Pretty Gritty Tours?
No.
I don't think I've heard of it.
No?
Not once
Oh,
today
wow.
have I heard that name.
You said gritty?
Pretty Gritty.
Gritty?
Can you spell it?
P-R-E.
P-R-E.
That's where I'll end. Pretty Gritty Tours. Okay, so as a fellow tour guide and fake historian, I play a historian on the radio,
You do.
literally. So, it really, he did a great job in setting the scene, in leaving you hanging. I mean, he's no Chris Stottinger. He is the king. But he did a really good job of setting the scene, of making things feel nice and creepy, of telling stories in a way that didn't feel cheesy.
Yeah.
You actually, and I'm the skeptic in the room, right? Like, I know you're very much a believer. You're very, and you're just kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I want just some more.
Caitlin doesn't
Concrete.
want to. Like
No, I want
No,
to.
I'm definitely a very, I'm just like a very reluctant, very.
I'm an eager, so okay, so here's the problem. I'm very eager, but then I'm also such a skeptic.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone who's eager, they know. Okay, they know, and they want nothing to do with you fuckers. And they're like, "What about that chick? The one who looks like she's trying to get away."
Let's go play
I like
with
that
her.
one.
Okay, so you believe, but you don't. You're like, I believe, but I don't want to see it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
GTFO.
Okay. Unlike people that are like, I believe, and I just want nothing else but to like absorb everything and the energies.
That.
Oh, sorry.
I
That
mean,
right
no,
there,
I'm like,
that's her.
obviously I'm real. When on our podcast, I'm like always the downer. I'm like, well, these people say these ghosty things happen, but like these other people say that like that's all not real. So like I'm real. I like both sides of everything, but I want to believe, you know?
Right, same.
Yeah.
But I need some good proof. And so when I get quote unquote proof, I'm like, nah, that's not good enough.
Well, we'll get around to something that our tour guide Doug showed us in this tour that kind of had me. It took me from on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I don't believe in any of it, and 10 being I believe in any of it. And I started out at a 2.5. What he showed us at the end took me to a 3.5 at least.
Ooh, a whole point.
It creeped me the F out. So we'll get there though, right?
Yeah, I was into that.
Yeah, tell us how we started this out. Tell us how Doug started us out tonight. Or I can do it if you guys aren't feeling. All right, if you guys
I'm like, I blacked out.
I know. I was like, he that's a great way to put it. Like,
I try to absorb as little as possible.
oh no, I would like, he would tell a part of a story, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, oh shoot, I kept thinking about that, and he's already moved on to something else, and
Yeah.
I missed half of it.
Well, we did start out going into this gorgeous courtyard that I had no idea
Oh,
was
my
like in this building.
Goodness.
Brick
I
everywhere.
I wanted to spend more time there. It was
Ivy.
great.
Yeah, the ivy.
She purdy.
There was like a water feature which wasn't on, but it kind of looked
Yeah.
like a well in
I
the
was about
middle.
to say I wanted to
little
know, was
wishing
that a
well.
well? Was that a well at some point? Was
Right.
Nina's body at the bottom of that well?
no.
We don't know. Who's Nina? We don't know yet.
No, they found her in the elevator shaft.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw the well though, and I was like,
Spoiler
"Is that where?"
alert.
Oh, I know. Nice job. Actually, it was me who said it first. But she's looking at you.
The only things I can really remember from starting was he definitely started telling us like the history of the building and stuff, but then he went around and like asked everyone on a scale of 1 to 10, like what's your believability level or whatever. So he made everyone answer.
Audience
Yeah, every
engagement.
single
funny.
person.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
I
extra points.
Very much
Audience-
appreciated that.
Audience engagement. Forced. So we had to all engage.
We had to, yeah.
I don't
said,
like that.
I said 10,000.
Yeah, Caitlin, what were
But-
you?
I don't like that at all.
But
It's like
you were.
at camp when they make you sing songs and shit.
Yeah, but
And, you know, dedicate your life to Jesus. I'm like, I'm not about
Oh,
that.
I've been there.
did you appreciate everybody else sharing? Because you got to hear
I don't
it.
really know any of them, so I didn't really care. I'm going to be honest. I was kind of like, it's like at the corporate retreat when we go around and say everybody's names. And I'm like,
Icebreaker.
I've already forgotten every single one of them.
I mean, same. Yes.
They were all quite low, though. I was surprised. I
Yeah.
feel like everyone was like 2.
But
But
then
one
there was,
guy
like,
was like 7.
The one guy was like 2, and his girlfriend was like, "Oh, 10, definitely." We were like, "Oh, what's that relationship like?"
Yeah.
You know what? We were wearing our podcast shirts. They could hear this. So, hey, if you are listening,
No, I
Let
was
us
still,
know.
we
Let
were
us
still
know
wearing our
what you
coat.
thought about
I was
that.
wearing my coats the entire time. I realized, so they don't know. Anyway,
no, I took mine off.
Oh,
Purpose. And I had my beanie on.
that is too small to see.
I know, but it's damn cute.
anyway. So Cassie was a 10,000, which is off the Richter scale. That doesn't even like measure. Caitlin was a 7.
No.
I think that's what you said.
I
No.
was.
I thought you
What
said
do
a
you think you said?
9.
I said 9.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 7.
You're the only Debbie Downer around here.
I think you
said
panic
7.
answered.
Oh, you were 7. Okay.
I was 7.
Basically. I was like, do I say 10? That feels like too much. And then I was like 9.5. And then I was like, everyone's going to be like, what a fucking weirdo.
You're like, I got to answer. They're staring at
Oh my
me.
God, and then I said a 2.5.
And I was like,
I'm a
okay, I guess
fucking weirdo.
I'll do a 9. I know. I was like, well, everybody else did like whole numbers. And then Cassie was like, 10,000. sand.
Well, that's why I felt safe to say 2.5.
Yeah.
This is a safe space. We can all say whatever we want.
I
and
love
there's
Star
no
Trek.
judgment.
No judgment about whatever number it is.
You love Star Trek, is that what you said?
That's
Star
sorry, I thought I was in a safe space.
Okay, well.
Oh, not if you say stupid stuff.
Okay. Anyway, so we have this courtyard scene, and then he tells us about the resident ghost Nina, which is just Nina, but pronounced differently.
Yeah, I've never heard it pronounced Nina. I always heard it pronounced Nina on everything I've listened to and the other
How
ghost
do we
tours
know
I've
it was
been on.
pronounced Nina? Were you there,
Nope.
sir?
I don't know. Seems weird.
That's where I'm going to call you on this, Doug. I'm pointing at the mirror as if he's there.
Douglas.
There's a space over
Don't
here.
say his name
Doug
too
is-
many
there is
times. That's
some
how they,
weird
you know.
No, Beetlejuice.
He's here.
Douglas.
Who does that? This woman is a monster.
Right. You know you love me. Anyway, so yeah, Nina, though, how do we know it's not Nina? Because it's spelled Nina. Anyway, what was the story behind Nina/Nina?
She
Remind
died.
me.
Wow.
So
Already?
succinct.
I've heard different. Well, I don't know. I don't exactly remember. I guess the very first stories I heard on the tours, like years and years ago, I went on. I'm trying to think. Okay, I guess I remember the one today though. She kind of like ratted on because it used to be a brothel, right? She kind of like ratted out the brothel in hopes of being saved and getting out of there, and she was ultimately like murdered. I think they found
she
her
was
dead.
found dead. I don't know if that means moider, but
Yeah.
Or
so
did
she
she just-
reported it to the police, but the police were involved in the whole
Yeah, the police
the
were
whole biz.
super corrupt.
yeah.
And so then because she reported it, and then somebody was also investigating corrupt.
Well, no, it was a Christian temperance sort of movement that was like, we got to figure out how we can shut down all the brothels. And so they wanted to use her as like an informant. I don't know why they needed to know the inside workings of the brothel there, but
to get it shut down. I get maybe if they're looking for like illegal things because brothels weren't illegal, right? Or
I
were
think
they?
that it depended on, I mean, every town had its own regulations about where like the vice could exist. So like Seattle, it was just dependent on the mayor of the time, and then they would have like that line of like, okay, well, all the gambling dens and brothels could be like south of Yesler, or it wasn't Yesler at the time, but whatever line, right?
Don't
and
get
I'm
me
sure
started.
I don't know Portland history as well. I should. We're going to get into that. But it probably was similar, where they try to contain all of the gambling dens and saloons and brothels into one district. And maybe Merchant Hotel was kind of riding the line, but it didn't sound like it.
It seems weird to me why you would want to shut down a brothel when he said there was like 15 men per like one woman. Can you imagine shutting down the brothel? Like there's just a bunch of horny men running around the streets. You don't want
Well,
that.
dangerous, very dangerous.
These Christian temperance leagues just didn't care about that, right? They were like, it's
Right.
all bad. It's all sinful. We got to shut it all down.
I mean, you remember we talked about them
Yeah.
when we did the Prohibition live. Like
Yes.
they were like, "That's real bad. Don't drink it. It's gonna make you a really bad dude."
Can't drink and you can't what the hell is wrong with them?
I know. What's the point of life at that point?
I mean, believe-
seriously though, like at that time, your life was hard. These guys worked hard, and their like
Yeah,
day to
at
day
drinking
life
and beating
was
their wives,
sucky.
but you know.
But-
I mean, mainly like number 1, number 2, and
Sure,
then number
sure,
3.
sure.
Sometimes they like did some logging or shit.
God, it makes it sound like I'm like a
you
apologist. I'm like
Andrew Tate
God, why do you
apologist.
not feel bad for these guys? Like, have some
Yeah,
sympathy
what
for these.
angle are you taking today?
You're like, I just really
It's
love
not the-
beer
the
though.
Shea I
You
know.
know?
them lumberjacks and sailors needs to just leave
Usually
them alone.
people tell me I'm too woke, and today they're going to be like, I'm not woke enough.
You really can't win. You know.
Well, here's the other thing that I think about. Okay, so they found her body at the bottom of elevator shaft, but we were talking to Richard, who runs the Civil War Seattle history tours. And he was telling us he was going to take us on this whole tour of downtown Seattle elevator deaths.
Holy shit.
Because
Cool.
apparently, like, in the early days of elevators, like, people died in them all the time because, like, the doors would open and there's no elevator there and people just walk into it.
I was wondering how
Cool.
that even happens.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I heard that, I was like, well, maybe she just literally walked into the elevator shaft. And it wasn't Moidered.
Ooh,
Wait, how do we say it again?
Moidered.
It wasn't Moidered.
It was Moidered. She was Moidered.
It could just be a whoopsie daisy.
Very nice.
Yeah, because it does definitely seem shady. Like, how does that happen? How do you fall down an elevator shaft? Shouldn't the elevator be there to catch you? But like,
Back then.
Oh, no, not back then.
if it was that common, I mean, who knows? It could.
You were taking
That's-
your life in your hands to ride an elevator.
Yeah.
That's too convenient, though. I'm sorry. Oh, weird. She's used elevators before, presumably, right?
Yeah, she lived in that building,
Yeah.
right? With her kid.
But suddenly, as soon as she's like kind of turned, as it were, oh, now she's forgotten how they work and how to use them. Couldn't possibly.
Caitlin, I just want to remind you of one thing.
What?
It was the 1800s.
So?
Where literally everything will kill you.
Well, sure. I mean,
It's like Australia,
Yeah,
kind
a
of,
little
sort
bit.
of.
Old was
Little
40. Old was 40.
Right.
yeah. I mean, back then, unfortunately, it was mostly her line of work. Being in Portland, PPB, any of them.
Anyway, what we have been going on about for 15 minutes or whatever is Nina/Nina, the resident ghost. And apparently, when people experience Nina, you hear music, apparently. No, you smell perfume.
Oh, yeah, that is one of the big things about her.
That's really difficult because people are highly suggestible.
Sure.
Right? When you say, do you smell perfume? Immediately, I smelled perfume, and I was going around sniffing
Yeah.
each one of you.
Yeah.
No, so at first he said, he said, at first, I don't want to be suggesting anything because that's the way the mind works. I'm not going to tell you what the smell was. He said, I'm not going to tell you the smell. So I walked through this place thinking, God, did she smell like pee? and then later he goes, it was perfume. Did anyone smell perfume?
Did he not
and
say
I was
perfume
like,
at first? Well, I guess I read stuff, so I knew it was perfume.
oh, got it.
So maybe that was
no,
just
and
me.
it wasn't. So I was like, God, that poor woman. Like, I know,
it was
everything
pee.
around here smelled like pee, right?
That last part we went smelled so strong of pee.
I smelled no pee. I didn't.
It was very musty down there,
I
and so
smelled
it
the
kind
mold.
of yeah.
I smelled the mildew. But
yeah.
then that
maybe
last section
underground
was pee.
in
It was
dirt.
so bad.
So underground in dirt. So it's gonna be musty.
Yeah. It
was
it's kind of
musty.
wet.
I smelled a musty smell, but like when you said you kept smelling pee and I didn't smell it, I kind of thought like, was that something paranormal then? Like, were you smelling like
Right.
one of the other figures that they were saying that they see down there?
Like a paranormal.
Or was I
pee-pee?
just having a stroke?
I don't know.
I am old.
You're supposed to smell popcorn.
I thought it was burnt toast and oranges.
Burnt toast for sure.
Burnt toast.
Yeah, like burnt, like some, yeah.
burnt.
Things firing.
Or
Not
pee.
pee-pee.
Or pee-pee.
Pee-pee's paranormal.
So our guide took us down into the basement underneath the Old Town Pizza and Brewing, which is where what he called so-called Shanghai Tunnels. And he made very clear throughout this tour, it's the so-called Shanghai Tunnels because the legend has kind of taken over the truth. And that is where I come in because my name is Shea.
What?
And my favorite thing, besides being a know-it-all, is ruining everything. And maybe those go hand in hand.
See, this is why I wanted you to research this episode because I'm like, I've been dreading it because I know what I'm going to say about it and it's not, no one's going to like it and they're going to hate me after
It's
it.
not as exciting as you think it's going to be.
So I'm like, you do the research. I am happy to let everyone hate you.
Shay ruins everything. It's kind of a joke we have.
Well, yeah, I mean, and this is where I do my thing and I ruin it because the truth is not nearly as sexy or spooky as you want it to be. And while this tour was fucking fantastic,
Yeah.
and me being a big fat skeptic, I still had a great time. I still got myself creeped out. And we'll get to what we saw in the end that may have started to change my mind to be
Yeah.
a little less of a stick up the butt skeptic to maybe the stick's pulled out of my butt at least.
Right.
But it is a stick.
Up your
Was it a ghost stick?
Just making sure, because sometimes like
That
people
sounds
say
splintery.
maybe like it would be worth considering using something like silicone.
More comfortable. You know?
That would be easier
Something
to pull
softer.
out for sure. I'm gonna
She's
stop.
so glad
I'm
I'm
gonna
here.
Stop
This
right
girl
there.
so much.
We can keep going.
Is it a vibrating stick?
God, don't threaten me with a good time. Okay, so let's start with the tunnels. Yes, they are real. We were there.
I was like,
We were inside of them.
We're not hallucinating.
I'm not really sure what she's looking for here. Like,
But they weren't designed to smuggle bodies. They were basically a 19th century version of a loading dock. So Portland had a thriving commercial district, and businesses needed a way to move goods from the docks to the locations without having to fight the muddy, poopy streets. Like, think about this. So it was dirt streets, horse-drawn, cattle-drawn wagons, and you can't ask your cattle or your horses to poop in a convenient place that was not the street. And then it rains here. So what happens is it rains and they walk over it and becomes a soupy mire of shit and mud. And then also all the there's no indoor plumbing. Everybody around has chamber pots and they throw it out the window into
in
the
the
street.
street.
Oh my gosh.
They built these tunnels to be sensible and efficient. I mean, it's kind of boring, but things would come in off of the ships, like Doug told us. So, and they would move the goods throughout these tunnels, through the basements to get where they were. And so that's really why Portland has an underground, which is interesting because it's different than Seattle. So Seattle has an underground because Seattle was a marsh and they came in, built a sawmill and started just dumping all the sawmill debris and all of their trash into the swamp, built it up, built the city on top of that, made out of wood. It burnt down.
Yes.
And then they were like, well, we'll just build a city on top of that. And so that is the reason that Seattle has an underground, because the underground is the old city with the new city built on top. It's different. Like every city has a different reason for their underground, which is very interesting. Like Tacoma has a different underground because they built it on purpose because it was sloped. And so they built the underground was intentional. And here also it was intentional. Like we need a way to get things around without having to move them through this quagmire of poop and despair.
It's so smart.
Yeah. The big leap, the tunnels as secret passageways for kidnapped men, starts with one Stuart Holbrook. So our tour guide Doug did not bring up how the Shanghai Tunnel legend started.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So Stuart Holbrook was a very colorful character. And in the 1930s, he began spinning tales on the radio and in print about Portland's dark, seedy underbelly. So he was a storyteller, not a historian, and he knew his audience. His accounts of trapdoors, kidnappings, and shadowy tunnels were gripping and entirely lacking in sources. But he put it out as a radio broadcast. And what do we know about radio broadcasts in the 20s and 30s is people took it in as fact.
Yeah, totally. If it's on the radio, it's true.
So then came Michael P. Jones in the 1970s, who took Holbrook's stories and ran with them. He said he had been exploring the tunnel since 1969 and that he had a map of the network of tunnels. So then, of course, he began offering tours, which have continued since 1979, which is as long as I have been alive, guys.
Oh my goodness. So long.
I thought you were 28 like me.
I'm sorry. Did I just like ruin your guys' vision of me as being like this young, hot thing?
I mean, yeah, a
Hot,
little bit.
yes. Young, no.
Yeah.
Shay has self-esteem issues.
I think it's more of a flex to like the older you are to say like, hey, I'm this old. And people be like, what?
Oh, good.
No
I'm 53.
way.
Oh, no. Every time we mention her grandchildren, people are like, what the fuck?
True.
Grandchildren? She's like, I got 7 of them. And they're like, No. You're lying. No.
I wouldn't believe it.
She's like, that's a really weird thing to lie about.
Yeah.
So according to historians and researchers, like the good folks over at the Oregon Historical Society and the Oregon Encyclopedia, there's very little evidence to support the claim that these tunnels were ever widely used for Shanghaiing. In fact, the most consistent accounts of Shanghaiing in Portland have more to do with forged paperwork, spiked drinks, and those crimpmen that were they called?
Crimping.
Crimpers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the crimpers.
Crimping.
Wait, no, that's what you would use on your hair in the 80s.
Yeah, crimpers.
Yeah.
No, that's back.
Yeah, it is.
It's back.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a great way to burn your hair off.
We just let the kids do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
They'll learn.
Yep. Anyway, so it was more of that. And Doug, I really appreciate that Doug sat us down in the dark.
It was the best.
And honestly, like guys, I was sitting there. We were in there sitting around
Lanterns. Oh my
in the
God.
basement, in
Yeah.
this creepy dark basement, musty with these lanterns, and they're all flickering. And he sits us down and he's like, okay, look, so I call it the so-called Shanghai Tunnels for a reason. And then he explains this and he explains about the crimpers. And I'm just like sitting there wide-eyed and nodding and like my heart's doing the like cartoon, like, I love you thing.
Yeah, because like that's honestly so scary. Like that did pretty much happen, just not like the way that we think of it
Right.
in tunnels,
Yeah.
but it did actually happen. Are you going to go into crimping and like what it is?
No, it actually, to me, it sounds more like the timeshare salesman.
Kind of.
little bit.
Where they're like,
Can
"Are
I
you just
interest
here-
you in a timeshare on this here,
Hey,
man?
do you want a dinner and a free vacation? Just show up for this 3-hour seminar, and then also
Okay, well, listen, people should already know better about a 3-hour tour.
Well, so first off, the trapdoors in the Shanghai Tunnel Tours that we saw, do you want me to ruin it?
You can ruin it.
Because I looked at the hinges and then
yeah.
I looked behind them. Those are just put there for show.
I kind of thought so.
I think he said that.
Oh, did he? I don't know. We kept talking.
Also, like, it was a lot to absorb.
It was a
just
lot to
so
absorb.
interesting. So you wanted to sit on it for a minute, but then he kept going.
I was thinking maybe they redid them because they fell out, but honestly, like that could just be easy access to get like the stock.
There's
whatever,
there's nothing
like-
above. If you look above those trapdoors, it is just the floor joists above.
Oh, okay. You don't think like maybe in the past there was something above or
Not right there.
Oh, okay.
Also down there, he showed a couple of rooms that were quote unquote holding cells, right? Like,
Right,
so they would
yeah.
steal people and put them in there, and
One even had a bunk bed. And
with some sexy restraints.
that, of course, Shea found. It's dark in there, and these are dark
Like a
colored.
chain with like a leather strap
Yeah.
for your wrist strap.
It's like a
She's like,
fucking
look at
beacon.
this.
I was like, hey.
Oh, hello there.
I don't know. Is this made for me?
Do you think those were more modern too?
Well, the leather on
Well, yeah,
the
they were
wrist straps,
fuzzy.
they seemed pretty old, but
They did
you know,
seem
you
old.
can age leather really easily.
or vintage stores, maybe.
mean-
but right. I mean, I think those were more likely just storage rooms.
yeah, I think so too.
And the story of putting people through trapdoors in the bar and then putting them in a holding cell and taking their shoes away and then putting glass in the tunnels. These are the stories that there is no proof that happened. That is apocryphal. It is not. There's nothing behind it. This is just the legend, the story. There's no evidence to back that up.
And does it all come back to like that one guy who started all the stories on the
Yes.
radio? Okay.
Yeah. So it was the guy in the 30s with the radio and then the guy in the 70s that was like, that's a great story. Let's go there. And, you know, it's not the first time this sort of thing has happened. We look at the Seattle Underground, the Bill Speedle tours.
Yeah.
He is the king and the absolute end-all be-all of the Seattle Underground. But he doesn't state his sources anywhere.
I mean,
So you read his books, he doesn't state his sources. His histories are always the most interesting, the most spicy,
Yeah.
like the ones that our podcast is like, fantastic. Where are your sources, sir? There are none.
yeah.
And he based a whole like empire on it and multiple books. And I feel like this is kind of the same thing. And that's the problem with history, right? Like a lot of history is just oral. It's people telling people stories and then they write it down.
Right. And I was going to say, too, a lot of the shady shit, like, why would there be record of that?
Well, sure. And of course there was shady shit going on. And sure, there was probably somebody got dropped through a trapdoor in a bar at some point in Portland.
Oh, I'm sure.
At least once or twice.
Just, maybe even just for fun.
I would do it. You put a little padding down there, I will drop through that trapdoor. And then those like restraints were in there. Like, what's next? Yeah, boy.
She's like, fuck stairs. Twink.
We need the experience next time. I think they need to start implementing.
Exactly what we need to do is we need to start the fake Shanghai experience.
Yeah.
And then so-called Shanghai experience.
No. Wait. There are full empty buildings above. Could we also then do a zip line on top of it?
Hell yeah. Well, I wouldn't
and then
be
you
doing
climb
that,
up and you do a zip line to the bar.
Ooh, to a bar?
Yes.
Yes.
Why would you not zip line to a bar?
I'm not for zip lining, but if you put a bar at the end, I might do it.
Love zip lining. So yeah, there were indeed cases of Shanghaiing in the Pacific Northwest, and especially in those chaotic times of maritime trade. If we didn't explain it before, this is the practice of kidnapping a man specifically. I don't think this happened to women. Women were kidnapped for other reasons,
Right.
not to serve on a ship unless it was serving in one specific function. And these were usually ones doing trade with Asia. Again, why it's called Shanghaiing. In the late 1800s, as we've talked about, anti-Chinese sentiment was rampant. So anything that could be attributed to being a negative connotation against people of Asian descent.
Boo.
So in the 19th century, a lot of sailors were under labor contracts, and it was basically indentured servitude. And they would sometimes jump ship when they got into a big port because they were like, this sucks.
Bye.
See ya.
Take my chances with the mermaids.
And
Right.
yeet.
Exactly. Like a beaver out of a plane. So
Reference episode, 67?
68. Oh, you guys, I did not tell you.
You
This
did.
episode is very special.
It's
for
number
us.
69, isn't it?
It is number 69.
Yeah.
Oh,
We are so excited to have you here.
69.
That's why we were getting nasty.
69.
We were just feeling the
Nice.
vibe.
Very special episode in so many ways.
If you're nasty.
You know,
we are.
There are 4 of us. We could.
Oh,
Whoa.
wait. If
Oh
there's
my God.
2 69s, what does that make it? Wait.
6,969.
38.
We're doing a 6,939.
So the people that were indentured servants would jump ship, and so captains had to replenish their crew, and so then they would rely on the services of these crimps, which you talked about, which was just like what would you describe it as? Like a
I mean,
shyster?
Yeah, basically.
Kidnapper.
It's like it ultimately is like a con man meets slave owner. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, it was your timeshare salesman,
Yeah.
but the timeshare was you.
Right. Can I interest
And you signed
in
on.
this man?
Right.
It's kind of like a pimp almost.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, crimp, pimp.
Yeah.
That's really
Well,
Crimp
there
him.
you go.
really good.
You're welcome.
We
Clever.
just figured it out.
But there's no concrete proof that there was an organized tunnel-based system doing the heavy lifting for these crimps in the Shanghaiing. So it goes back to these 1930s stories and then the 1970s, and it's just built with these tales over the year. But you know what? Here on both of our podcasts, we do not let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Hell
That's
no.
right.
It's part of the good story.
We loved every second of this tour, right? All
Oh,
of
yeah.
us.
Oh my God. Best
So-
time.
Tots.
Okay, so Jody and I have come up with a rating system for gift shops and tours. And it is the Squatch system. And Squatch is because our Lord and Savior, Bigfoot,
Mr. Squatch.
Mr.
Mr.
Squatch. So 5 Squatches is the most you can give to a tour or a gift shop. Why it is just tours and gift shops, you'll just have to figure out.
I don't know. Start reviewing some other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so-
we're just beginners. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So, Cassie, how many Squatches would you give out of 1 to 5 of the Shanghai Tunnel Tours?
10,000.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, honestly, I would say a 5 because there was beer. You got to taste beer.
Oh, yeah, we
and
forgot to
You
tell
got a full beer.
Yes, please tell us what you get with your ticket.
You get a tasting of 2 different beers.
Where did we taste those beers?
In the tunnels, in like a little bar area.
In the basement. It was creepy as fuck. It smelled like urine.
I was gonna say the pee-pee.
The pee-pee
bar.
They have like an old bar down there, and I don't know where the bar came from or anything, but it looked really cool down there. It was a vibe for sure. There was stairs to nowhere next to it. It was really cool.
You have to go down a ladder. Now, this is the one thing.
Yeah.
You cannot be...
You can't have bad knees.
You have to be able to climb things and...
Not as bad as going in the stadium high school where you have to duck.
Yeah, you have to duck a little couple areas. Not as bad as stadium.
You can't have mobility, like major mobility issues.
Yeah. Those stairs I had 3 times in stadium.
It was kind of it was kind of like a fancy ladder.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would say 5 to 10,000 squatches.
Yes, definitely. And you get a full beer at the end included.
Yeah, the two
really
tastings
important.
were not just like shy tastings. Like he gives you a nice 3 to 4 ounce.
Shh. Might have to.
You might want to.
Yeah, that might be illegal.
It wasn't Doug. It was the ghost.
It was a normal amount of tasting. Wink,
Whatever
wink.
it is.
It was the perfect legal amount.
All right, so Caitlyn, how many squatches would you give the Shanghai Tunnel Shanghai Tunnel Tour? I don't know whether it's 2 tours. Tours.
Tours. Okay, well, listen, while Cassie's over here handing out 10,000 of everything to everyone, let's see. I feel like I'll even it out. I don't know.
500?
Like 3.5.
Okay, so why
3.5?
Why 3.5? What was it that...
Because I didn't want to be there.
Okay, so tell us why you didn't want to be there.
Because I don't like spooky stuff. This is so well documented.
You guys do a haunted podcast.
Yes, this is amazing.
No, that is against my will. And we have a rating system as well. And it is now, it's the number of scoots that I have to do into my chair as she tells me these stories.
No, that just makes me think of boot scooting from my dog.
Yes, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
But it just...
It's not a boogie. It's...
And the next rating system we have is like, how bad does your butt itch? Like, how many butt scoots do you need to do?
Some days 5.
But I feel like that...
You need more fiber.
Okay, Jody, how many squatches do you give? How many snort squatches do you give the Shanghai Tunnel Tours?
10. I give it 10.
There's only 5.
I know, but I just felt like...
You're like, if
you know
Cassie
what?
could do 10,000, I could do 10.
Over here, this little anarchist.
I don't like
Cassie?
rules.
Yeah. She's fucking shit
The
up.
thing is, you know, part of me is like, Jody, you're a nurse, and you know about the pain scale when people say 12, and you're like, it's not a 12. You can't have a 12. Anyway, just kidding. But anyway, no, I thought it was a 5, but then I just didn't even feel like that was good enough. So I thought, okay, I'm going to double it because it was just, I don't know, the ambiance, the stories, and the way he told them wasn't like trying to get you to believe and trying to trick you. I didn't feel it was like,
I appreciate
here's
that.
a little bit of history on this, and this is the experience that I've had, and these are the stories that were told, and this is why. And he told it in a very storytelling way. And then just the way the moods were all set. And then it was good. He made Shea jump up 1 whole point in her ghost belief.
I know.
That's
That
good.
right there made him double
You guys.
the score.
I don't think that even Chris has been able to do that.
I know. That's why I
Chris,
was like,
Chris, don't listen to this episode. It almost sounds like we're saying you're not our favorite tour guide, and that's not true. You are still our favorite tour guide, Chris.
Well, now you have to explain.
Allegedly.
Because we didn't explain the photo, so now we have to explain the reason you went up a whole point.
Yes. So real quick, who wants to explain it?
You.
Okay.
okay, but what's your Squatch score?
I am giving this a 4.5. Wow. The only reason I'm not giving a full 5 is because it smelled like mildew and urine.
Well, what was it? That's authentic.
Ambience. Yes, authentic.
What?
No, can't. I don't like it.
God, you're
I don't like
such
it.
a priss.
I still think it could have
Yeah.
been a paranormal experience you were having. I think you were smelling
ghost of-
back in the
the
day.
ghost of-
princess.
The
Yeah, no,
ghosts
you
of
guys are
thousands
right.
of homeless people down there.
It definitely smells amazing down there. She's the one that's weird.
yeah, that's true.
Wonderful. All right,
Disgusting.
So when we were down in our downstairs bar, which sounds sexual,
I was
when
gonna
I
say.
came out of my mouth.
My downstairs, please.
So we're in this pee-pee bar, which also sounds sexual. I gotta
really
stop
does.
where I'm at. Anyway,
It's a bar in the basement.
At the bar.
he tells us about this experience that they had with one group of guests where somebody took a picture of this one specific location and he shows us the picture and you can clearly see the very creepy form of a very creepy person in a flannel shirt and a dog at their feet. And it is creepy AF. Like, it gave me the chills. My butthole puckered.
Mm-hmm. It's puckering right now, isn't
Yeah.
it?
The face on that picture, if you zoom in on it, it's just like kind of
yes.
distorted and weird, but also real.
But then he
eyes.
followed it up with a story about this thing called the Phillip experiment, which I'm not going to get into now, but it was basically like a group of academics that tried to make a fake ghost by, like, if everybody focuses on one concept, they believe in it, and then you can see it and you can actually make it do things, and they managed to make it manifest. So his question at the end for everybody was, are ghosts actually the remnants of people that existed, or is it the like combined energy of people believing in a certain thing? And then he was like, bye.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Deuces.
Mic drop.
Wasn't cheesy, and he
Yep.
wasn't preachy, and he wasn't trying to trick you. It was,
Yep.
and then he put those thoughts out there, and
So, and that's where I was like, oh,
Yeah, it
we're
was-
not worthy.
it was extra.
It was extra. So we're gonna get into the Phillip experiment, I think.
Yeah, that's a whole ass episode for sure.
I don't care that it's not Pacific Northwest. We got to do it.
Gotta
That's
do it.
so
Sometimes
cool.
you just do stuff for yourself, you know?
Sometimes you can just twist it in such a way, though.
like a nipple.
Yeah.
All right.
Turning
Oh.
Tokyo. Am I right?
I have one more thing to say though.
Yes.
Okay, so in the photo you mentioned and everyone agreed it looks like he's wearing a flannel shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can clearly kind of see the pattern of his shirt. And we did an episode, our audience might be familiar, yours might not be, but we did an episode about Flannel Man.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
And it is just this thing that some people have seen, and it's just this random man who shows up in a flannel shirt. And
It's me.
sometimes
It's just me.
It's just you. You guys were wearing your flannel shirts today.
I know.
And it was,
I bet we're gonna show up as flannel men in people's
You're
videos
flannel man.
and pictures.
Why so sexist? Why can't it be flannel lady or flannel person?
there was actually a flannel woman in
Okay.
one of the stories I found. So it's flannel thems. But
Thank
one of
have to
the
be gendered.
no, it doesn't. But one of the things is he's sometimes seen with a dog, which is also very interesting because there's clearly a dog in this photo as well.
Everybody, if you come to Portland, go do the Shanghai Tunnel Tours.
100%.
If you want Doug, you have to call in and ask for Doug. He's fantastic. Make
Yeah,
sure you
get
tip
Doug.
Doug. Make sure you stay and have pizza. We did.
Oh, it's delicious.
You can actually get it by the slice, which
Yeah.
we did not realize when we ordered a whole ass
Dum-dums.
pizza.
So Shay and I have a lot of pizza to eat.
Beer was great. They make their own beer. Pizza is fantastic. Great location. Well, no, location's not great.
Yeah.
Great ambiance inside the building. The location can be a little sketchy, so just be safe out there.
Yeah.
And
All the staff was nice. The bartender,
Oh,
like everyone
fantastic.
we encountered was
5 squatches
amazing.
across the board for everybody at Old Town Pizza and Brewing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely would
Yes.
come back. All right.
10,000%.
Well, so what do you guys want to say to your listeners? Perfect.
Had
Succinct.
to.
No notes.
Have a creepy ass day and
See you down the rabbit hole.
It's just called a cross check.
Is this what it's like? Is this what it's like working with the talent?
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm cross checking you. This is what good talent does. Some of your safety net.
No, talent is just supposed to show up and do their job.
And let you fail?
Just I love you. Fuck you. All right, let's do this.